The numbers on my laptop screen blurred as I stared at them for the fifth time. $50,000. $50,000. In charges I never made, on credit cards I rarely used. I'd only been checking my credit report because I was planning to buy a condo. After 2 years of saving every penny, living on ramen and dreams, I was finally ready to move out of my cramped studio apartment. But there they were, charges dating back 8 months. Catering deposits. Florist payments. Designer dress boutiques. A photographer requiring a $5,000 retainer. My first thought was identity theft. My second thought was to check the details. That's when I saw it. The Riverside Manor, the most exclusive wedding venue in the city, had charged my platinum visa $15,000. The booking name on the receipt, Melody Harper. My sister. My hands shook as I clicked through more receipts. Tiffany & Company for wedding bands. Kleinfeld for a dress. The St. Regis for a honeymoon suite. Each charge meticulously planned, carefully spread across my 3 emergency credit cards. The ones I kept in my safe. The ones only family knew about. But it was the catering contract that stopped my heart. Because there, listed as the groom, was Marcus Webb. My ex-fiancé. The man who'd left me at the altar 18 months ago, claiming he wasn't ready for marriage and needed to find himself. Apparently, he'd found himself in my sister's bed. I closed my laptop and sat in the dark of my apartment, trying to process the betrayal. Melody, my baby sister, who I'd raised after our parents died, who I'd put through college by working 3 jobs, who called me every Sunday to gossip about her love life, had stolen my identity, my money, and my ex. The wedding, according to the contracts, was in 6 days. I should have called the police immediately. Should have frozen my cards, filed fraud reports, had them both arrested. Instead, I poured myself a glass of wine and started planning. By midnight, I had a different strategy. The next morning, I called in sick to work and drove to Melody's apartment. She answered the door in yoga pants and a ratty t-shirt, looking every inch the carefree 26-year-old she was. "Emma, what are you doing here? Don't you have work?" "Took a mental health day," I said, hugging her. She smelled like vanilla and betrayal. "Thought we could have a sister day. Like old times." Her smile faltered for just a second. "Oh, I'd love to, but I'm super busy this week. You know how it is. Planning something special?" I asked innocently. "Just work stuff. Big presentation coming up." Melody worked part-time at a boutique. They didn't do presentations. "That's too bad," I said. "I wanted to talk to you about something. I'm thinking of buying a place, and I need to access some of my emergency funds. You remember where I keep those cards, right? In the safe?" Her face went pale. "Why would I remember that?" "Because you helped me organize them last year, when I had the flu and needed you to grab one to pay for my medicine." "Oh, right. Yeah, vaguely. The funny thing is," I continued, watching her squirm, "I can't find them. They're not in the safe." "You haven't seen them, have you?" "No. Why would I have your credit cards?" That's crazy." "Super crazy," I agreed. "Anyway, I should go. Let you get back to your presentation prep." I turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, Mel? I'm thinking of going away this weekend. Maybe a little self-care trip. Any recommendations?" "This weekend?" Her voice cracked. "No, nowhere special. Maybe stay local? Traffic's supposed to be terrible." "You're probably right. Hey, we should get manicures together soon. Sister bonding, you know?" "Definitely," she said weakly. "Soon." I left her standing in the doorway, probably already texting Marcus in panic. Good. Let them sweat. The next 5 days were a masterclass in psychological warfare. I casually mentioned to our mutual friends that I was reconnecting with Marcus, and that we'd been texting. I posted throwback photos of us on Instagram with captions like, "Sometimes the best love stories get a second chapter, and timing is everything." I knew Melody would see them. She cyberstalked me religiously. I also did some shopping of my own. An elegant black dress that cost more than my rent. Shoes that could kill a man. Hair and makeup appointments at the city's best salon. If I was crashing a wedding, I was going to look devastating doing it. I found out the details easily enough. Melody had used my email for some of the bookings. She knew my passwords, after all. The wedding was at 4 p.m. Saturday at Riverside Manor. 150 guests, none of whom seemed to be mutual friends. She'd created an entirely separate social circle for her secret life with Marcus. The night before the wedding, she called me. "Emma, are you busy tomorrow?" "Tomorrow? Let me check." I pretended to scroll through my calendar. Nope, totally free. Why? Want to hang out? I might need you. For something. Can you keep your afternoon open? Was she actually going to invite me? Some twisted desire to have her big sister watch her marry the man who'd humiliated me? Of course, Mel. Anything for my baby sister. Thanks. I'll text you details in the morning, okay? She never texted. Saturday arrived gray and drizzling, perfect weather for revenge. I spent the morning at the salon, transforming myself into someone Marcus would regret losing. My reflection looked like a warrior goddess in Valentino. At 3:45, I pulled up to Riverside Manor. The parking attendant tried to stop me. I'm with the wedding, I said sweetly. Harper Webb. I'm running a bit late. He checked his list, frowned. I don't see. I'm the bride's sister. Emma Harper. I leaned forward conspiratorially. Between you and me, there was some family drama about whether I'd be invited. You know how weddings are. But we made up this morning, and here I am. He waved me through, probably not paid enough to deal with family politics. The manor was breathtaking, all white marble and crystal chandeliers. $50,000 of my money had bought quite the fairy tale. Guests in designer clothes sipped champagne in the garden, sheltered under elegant tents from the drizzle. I recognized no one, which meant no one recognized me. Perfect. I slipped inside, following the subtle signs to the bridal suite. The door was cracked, and I could hear voices inside. Can't shake this feeling, Melody was saying. What if she finds out? She won't. Marcus. His voice still made my skin crawl. After today, it won't matter anyway. We'll be married on our honeymoon. By the time the credit card statements come in, we'll be living in London. London. They were planning to flee the country with my money. But Emma's been acting so weird this week. All those posts about you two reconnecting. She's delusional, babe. Always has been. Still hung up on me after all this time. It's honestly pathetic. Don't talk about my sister that way, Melody said, but it was weak, without conviction. Your sister who you're robbing? Marcus laughed. Come on, Mel. She's had everything handed to her. Good job, perfect credit, savings. So we borrowed a little to start our life together. She can afford it. Handed to me? I'd worked myself into the ground to build my life, to take care of Melody after our parents died. I'd given up my 20s to raise her, my dreams to fund hers. It's not borrowing if we don't pay it back, Melody said quietly. Details. Now come here, future Mrs. Webb. Let's get you married before you develop a conscience. I stepped back from the door, my decision made. No dramatic confrontation. Not yet. Instead, I found my seat in the back of the venue, watching guests file in. Marcus's parents were in the front row, his mother wearing a hideous hat that probably cost more than most people's rent. They'd never liked me. I wasn't for money, wasn't good enough for their precious son. The music started. The wedding party entered first, strangers in coordinated pastels. Then came the flower girl, the ring bearer, all the traditional pageantry paid for with my stolen funds. Finally, the wedding march began. Everyone stood and turned. And there she was, my baby sister, radiant in a $15,000 dress I'd unknowingly purchased, walking down an aisle lined with flowers charged to my credit cards, toward a man who'd already proven he couldn't be trusted. She looked beautiful. She looked happy. She looked like a stranger. Marcus waited at the altar, handsome in his designer tux, smiling like he'd won the lottery. In a way, he had $50,000 and a naive girl who'd betray her own sister for him. The ceremony began. The officiant droned on about love and commitment, words that felt like acid in my ears. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. If anyone here has just cause why these two should not be married, speak now or forever hold your peace. I stood. A ripple went through the crowd as heads turned. Melody's eyes found mine, and I watched the color drain from her face. Emma, she whispered into the microphone, her voice carrying across the silent room. I walked forward, my heels clicking on the marble floor, each step measured and deliberate. The crowd parted like I was Moses, and they were the Red Sea. Hello, Melody, I said, my voice carrying clear and strong. Marcus. Lovely wedding. I especially enjoyed the Tiffany rings and the designer dress. Exquisite taste. What are you doing here? Marcus stepped forward, trying to shield Melody. Oh, didn't you know? I'm paying for all this. I gestured around the opulent room. Every flower, every champagne flute, every shrimp on that cocktail hour platter. All charged to my credit cards. The ones Melody stole from my safe. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone dropped a champagne flute. That's ridiculous, Marcus blustered. You're just bitter that you left me at the altar? Ancient history, Marcus. Though I do find it ironic that you told me you weren't ready for marriage, yet here we are, 18 months later. I guess you just weren't ready for marriage with me. Emma, please. Melody's voice was barely a whisper. Can we talk about this privately? Like you talked to me before stealing $50,000? Before planning a wedding to my ex-fiancé? Before deciding to flee to London with my money? More gasps. Marcus's mother actually clutched her pearls. I have receipts, I continued, pulling out my phone. Every charge, every transaction. The venue, the dress, the honeymoon suite where you two have been meeting for the past 8 months. All on cards you stole from my safe. We were going to pay you back, Melody said desperately. From London? How considerate. I turned to address the crowd. I want everyone here to know that this wedding, this beautiful celebration of love, is built on theft and betrayal. The bride stole from her own sister, the woman who raised her after our parents died, who worked 3 jobs to put her through college. And the groom? Well, he's already proven he can't honor commitments. You're ruining everything. Melody screamed, tears streaming down her face, mascara running in black rivers. No, sweetheart. You ruined everything the moment you decided I was just an ATM to fund your fantasy. I looked at Marcus. And you? You always were a small man who needed to make others feel smaller. Congratulations. You two deserve each other. I turned to walk away, then paused. Oh, one more thing. I've already reported the fraud to the credit card companies and the police. They'll be here shortly to take statements. I suggest you don't leave. You called the police? Melody's voice broke. I'm your sister. I corrected. You were my sister. Now you're just someone who stole from me. As if on cue, 2 uniformed officers appeared at the entrance. The wedding guests erupted in chaos. Some filming on their phones, others trying to discreetly leave, Marcus's parents shouting about lawsuits and defamation. I walked through it all, head high, devastating in my designer dress and righteous anger. As I passed the gift table, I noticed the elaborate card box, presumably full of checks and cash. I paused, then picked up the microphone the DJ had been using. By the way, I announced over the chaos, anyone who brought a gift might want to take it back. I have a feeling the happy couple won't be making it to their honeymoon suite tonight. Orange jumpsuits aren't really appropriate for the St. Regis. I set down the microphone and walked out, leaving behind the ruins of a $50,000 wedding and a lifetime of sisterhood. Outside, the drizzle had turned to rain. I stood under the portico, watching police cars pull up, their lights reflecting off the wet pavement like broken promises. My phone buzzed. A text from my best friend. OMG, someone's live streaming a wedding disaster. Is this your sister's venue? The internet worked fast. By tomorrow, Melody and Marcus would be viral. Not the fairy tale they'd imagined, but a cautionary tale about greed and betrayal. Another text, this one from an unknown number. This is Detective Martinez. We have your sister and Mr. Webb in custody. Can you come to the station to give your statement? On my way, I replied. As I drove away from Riverside Manor, I thought about the condo I'd wanted to buy, the dream that had led me to check my credit report in the first place. That dream was dead. My credit was destroyed, my savings gone. It would take years to recover financially. But watching Melody's face when she realized I knew everything, seeing Marcus finally face consequences for his actions, that was worth more than any down payment. My phone rang. An unknown number, but I recognized the area code. The county jail. I let it go to voicemail. Melody could sit with her choices for a while, could feel what it was like when family didn't come running to save you. The rain intensified, and I turned on my windshield wipers, watching them sweep away the water like I was sweeping away the past. Behind me, $50,000 worth of flowers wilted in an empty venue. A wedding cake went uncut, and 150 guests had a story they'd tell for years. As for me, I had my own story. One about a woman who chose justice over family, who refused to be a victim, who walked into her sister's wedding in a killer dress and burned it all down. Tomorrow, I'd start rebuilding my life. New credit cards, new locks, new boundaries. Maybe even a new city, somewhere Melody couldn't find me when she got out on bail. But tonight I was going home, opening a bottle of champagne I'd bought with cash, and toasting to the end of being everyone's safety net. The best wedding I ever attended was the one that never happened. And the $50,000 it cost me? That was just the price of learning that sometimes the people who share your blood are the ones most willing to bleed you dry. But they can only do it once. And when you walk away, when you choose yourself over their expectations, when you let them face the consequences of their choices, that's not revenge. That's just justice. And justice, served in a designer dress with perfect makeup while your sister gets arrested at her own wedding, that's priceless.